Welcome to Giving Voice to Addiction, brought to you by Recovery.com, where each week real people share real stories of recovery. I'm Terry McGuire. Addiction isn't just statistics, it's personal. And when we share our stories of recovery, we can inspire hope. So take a deep breath, settle in and listen as Kyle gives voice to addiction. Kyle, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward to hearing some of your story.
All right, good.
Let's start with telling me what you consider yourself to be recovering from.
Recovering from alcohol.
Okay. And how long have you been drinking?
So I started drinking probably, 14, 15, and I'm now 47. So many, many years of drinking.
What are you hoping that somebody who listens to your story today takes away?
For anyone listening, because I knew immediately at a young age when I started drinking that it was an issue. So there were problems throughout my drinking career. And so I tried a lot of times to stop, especially in the past, 15, 20 years. So trying different things, but nothing, I couldn't do it or I'd relapse or whatnot. But, I always knew in the back of my head, I'm going to beat this thing one day. So for anyone listening, just try it every single day, ask for help. I wouldn't do that. Now that I can openly talk about it, really asking for help and not having any shame in it because it is a disease. And so, there are so many options for recovery. And I just know it takes people, 100 times, but never give up because life's a lot better without it.
So when you started drinking and you say you knew kind of right away, this is going to be a problem.
I mean, I just liked it a lot. I liked just partying and that was kind of what we did. I mean, it was in high school, it was kind of, we were allowed and then wild people I hung out with. Same thing happened in college. Just, that was kind of just part of the lifestyle. But I just noticed, I would always get more intoxicated, a lot more hungover, depression and anxiety started kicking in. My life would fall apart. So I'd spend a lot of time picking back up the pieces and then was able to move on from things. But the alcohol was always kind of at the root of all the problems. But I was never fully ready to stop, or maybe it wasn't that bad.
And in your experience, was the alcohol the problem or were you drinking because of something?
I think it started just as a fun thing, but then I think it really helped me with anxiety. It made me feel relaxed. It made me more fun. But then I would already get hangovers at a young age and feel a lot of shame. So that was already kind of in there. And we have alcoholism in my family on both sides. So this was nothing new that I didn't know about. So I was very aware very early, oh, this is a bad thing and my life's going to be horrible and I'm going to probably die from it. So even though I drank for all those years, it was always in the back of my head, this is bad.
Talk about that obsession.
Obsessing about going for long periods of time without drinking. And then this devil voice in my head telling me that there's a reason to drink. And then I would, and then I couldn't stop. Then there was this part of me that was I just wanted to be a normal drinker. So I was mad that I had this issue and that I had to be an alcoholic and it's not fair. So I would drink at the disease. I hated myself so much and hated that I was drinking that I would drink to ease that pain. So it was a very big mess of emotions. So I don't know which was coming first, feeling anxious and depressed because I was drinking or vice versa, or it just really took over my brain for many, many years.
It's really interesting to me that you knew immediately that it was a problem.
Yeah, I did.
And had it in your family. And yet there wasn't a, hey, mom, hey, dad, think I'm.
I mean, they were concerned and aware, but, I was of age and, what could they do? But there were many times when they expressed their concern, other friends and family expressed their concern, and I would do better and just kind of act good and not do anything for a while. And then that voice would get in my head oh, you can drink because it's a wedding or because it's Friday or because you're going to the beach. And then unfortunately, once I would start, I couldn't stop. My body would react to it as an allergy. So I couldn't have one. If I had one, I'd have to have 10. Mm-hmm. So then I could go for periods without it. But then once I would start, it could be days. And then the depression and anxiety would kick in. So it was a vicious cycle.
So if in the beginning and for a long time, apparently alcohol was fun and it helped you deal with depression and anxiety, you believed, even though alcohol's a depressant.
Right. I was a little fooled. Right.
But that's what it gave you.
Mhm.
What did it take from you?
Oh, everything. It took everything from me. It almost took my life. Just my family, just the worry that they had, like just not trusting, and just everyone feeling scared, and just like my self-worth and my dignity. And it hurt my marriage, and it hurt my daughter, and my whole family. But, I'm so lucky and blessed because I have an amazing, family and support system, and we are on the other side of that. But looking back, luckily I never had any legal issues or anything horrible happened. But I'm very lucky that I got away with drinking the way that I did for that many years, and it really destroyed all those years. And I was very sick, and it hurt a lot of people. And we're glad to be in recovery.
This is a lot of years later, and obviously there's still raw pain around that.
Yes. One of the main things that I really dealt with is shame and guilt. And so because I didn't deal with that, it was shame and guilt because I knew I was an alcoholic. So I would drink to cover that up. So like I was saying, it was just always a vicious cycle. Like I would be so ashamed of myself and so upset that I would just drink to like ease the pain of it.
It sounds like you're describing feeling very trapped.
Yes. Very trapped. Like knowing like I've got to like do something, but like the mental obsession was so bad that I was like, knew like going to rehab isn't going to help. Like going to AA isn't going to help. Like something has got my mind. And I remember I went and spoke with this counselor one time, and we had recorded it, and I went back and listened to it years later. And I had told her that I felt like I was running and that somebody was chasing me with a knife. And then later in the recording, I had told her that I felt like I could see myself on fire, and that I was running and trying to throw water, and I kept missing. And I just did not know what to do to help myself. So like, even though everybody knew, I didn't want to listen to what they were telling me because I thought I have to beat this on my own. And I guess I just wasn't ready.
Trying to put out the fire, trying to make the knife stop chasing you. You tried treatment numerous times, correct?
Yes, I did.
And tell me about that.
Like I said, I didn't want to like have this disease. So I would like come up with these very off the wall ways I was going to quit drinking. I was going to go get acupuncture, and I was going to go do yoga, and I was only going to drink, beer or whatnot. So I did go to a place, and it was an aversion therapy program where they actually forced you to drink alcohol in front of a mirror, and they gave you that Epicat, and then you vomited, and it would like make your mind hate alcohol and all this. And it did work until it didn't. I would have, periods of sobriety, and then I would, do AA or maybe, get into counseling. But then I would have other periods where I was drinking and not taking care of myself, and not in any kind of treatment. And then I did go to a 30-day residential.
And tell me about that.
So that was a place in Hunt, Texas. It's called La Hacienda. It's like an hour outside of San Antonio. Kind of knew the area, and I knew when I was going away that I needed to get out of the state of Georgia, and that I needed to go and really take this time for myself. And so we read about it, and then my mom ended up having a friend that she knew in Texas who had a child that had gone there. So I went there, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I got a lot out of it, dealt with a lot of trauma. It was a very healing, wonderful experience, very AA-based, faith-based. So I got a ton out of that, and was able to maintain sobriety for a good time after returning from there. And then my dad died, and I began drinking again.
I'm sorry that you lost your father.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the cycle and the fact that for many people, it's not a one and done situation.
Right.
So I know a lot of family members are like, you went to treatment, what's wrong?
Right.
I know that we can say, oh, I blew it, treatment doesn't work, or I can't be fixed. What has that experience been like for you trying a number of different things?
It's been very shameful. That's like another part of it is that, I think that there's this misconception that like, oh, okay, somebody's an alcoholic or like is struggling with drugs or alcohol. They need to go away to a 30-day program and then life's going to be great. Well, I don't think that is it at all. I mean, these programs absolutely work, but there's other things that you have to do and different ways it works for different people, in my personal opinion and in my experience. So now that I'm finally sober, I've taken all of my experiences that at these different places I've gone, different meetings I've gone to, different health supplements I've taken, different just self-care that I've done, different counseling, talking to friends. I've taken all of it over the years. I've been learning all of this.
Sure.
So I'm able to use it all now that I finally have made up my mind that is no longer part of my life and that the mental obsession is gone. I can use all these tools I've learned in the past and live a great life.
Wonderful. So you went to treatment, then your father died and you had to return to use.
Yes.
And then you decided again to go to treatment.
Yes.
And how? Tell me about that process.
The last years of my drinking were on and off. They were miserable. I was doing it to survive, kind of. I was not happy. I was in this bad, just vicious cycle of it. So I wasn't like enjoying it or socializing or anything. I was just like easing a pain. Just some things started happening with my health. And there was just a voice in me that just was like, it was almost like I was begging for help. Like I was like, I'm just so tired of this. I would like drink, like looking up places to go, like trying to figure out what to do. And I just couldn't figure out what to do because I felt like, okay, everyone's sick of this. I'm sick of myself. I've tried all these different things. This time I just said I was going to go to a detox center for 7 days. And I just went and I have not looked back, and I needed to go. And I just remember looking at myself and thinking like, this is my last fresh start. And I was excited about it. And I just wanted that poison out of my life. I knew that I was going to get sick and die from it. It was absolutely horrible. It was controlling my mind. And by the grace of God, when I left there, I have not looked back. I do not obsess about it. I do not think about it. I do not care about it. And I've never been happier.
So when you say you were in treatment most recently, it was that 7-day detox?
Yes.
And was there something after that, or you came home after
I
that?
came home and just used, like I said, all of the tools that I've had from 30 years of trying to stop. I just implement those into my daily life. And like I said, I just knew like, I'm done. For a lot of people, it is not a one and done time. Like it takes multiple times. And the other thing too is, as much as you want to do it for your child or your husband or your mother or your sister or your in-laws or your whole family, like until you are ready, you cannot do it for anyone else. And people would always tell me that. And then I hated myself because I wasn't ready to do it. So then I would drink at the hatred that I had for myself, that it was almost like I had to go through all these different crazy experiences and things to get to where I am now, to like be present and just like use all those tools that I've built up for years to just be like, bad stuff is going to happen, but like me drinking on it or at it is going to make the situation so much worse.
So when you decided that you wanted to try treatment and then the detox,
yes,
what did you do to find those places?
I actually had a friend that works at one of the facilities. Okay. And he and I had been in contact, like, I'm here for you when you're ready, Kyle. Like, he knew like I'd had a drinking problem for many, many years. And so I reached out to him. And then I also had like, my mom wanted to know about it. So I sent her to Recovery.com. She researched it through that website. And then I just hopped on the plane and went. And like I said, got through all that, got myself feeling good physically and mentally, and came home and just have to say, you're only as sick as your secrets. And it was bad. And I'm very ashamed of it, but I'm not going to dwell in the past of it. That's what I want to let other people know, is you can move on from it. And there's happiness, once you get through it. And there can be happiness during the journey of it too. Even though I tried things and failed, I learned, and I'm using those now for my life. So it was all part of a long journey.
What was different this time, do you think? What constitutes ready?
Well, so a couple of things, really. just being so exhausted and tired and really sick, and just knowing like that there's so much more to life. So hurt by my daughter seeing a mother drinking, knowing my husband, who's been very, very supportive, was just very hurt by it. And he would, say, why can't you be a success story? Because he knew I had it in me. He held on. He held on and said, I know you can do this. So I think like I said, I think it was just years and years of buildup. And I think this last time it got my brain, and I just knew like, I'm going to die from this and I'm ready to be done. That was really it. Then when I was at the detox, I had to go to the ER by ambulance. I had a scary thing happen where like something was wrong.
Okay.
I thought like, I was like all numb, and they were real worried. So I ended up going to the ER in an ambulance. It was horrifying.
Scary, yeah.
And I just remember being in that triage, like in the middle of North Carolina, nobody knowing where I was, and just getting wheeled in there and like laying there just alone, and scared that, I was going to die. And there was a quote on the wall, like a Bible quote. And I just kept reading it and like praying to my dad and God, like, please, like, I just want to go home to my family and live a sober life. And I just think it was God just like giving me that one last wake up call. And that, it scared me. But I was already scared before that. I was already really scared for many, many, many years. I was scared.
And how long have you been sober?
Almost 11 months.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
So mentally, it sounds like it's different for you.
Yes.
It's not just that white knuckling, I'm not
Oh,
drinking.
not at all. And I think a lot of it is that I let go of the shame. I let go of the guilt. My husband always says we are a windshield family, not a rear view family. Like we're looking forward, we're moving forward. And so I had to forgive myself, because otherwise I would have started drinking again just due to the shame. Everybody in life has a struggle. You may not see it in everybody. And unfortunately, this was the one that God gave me. And so, while this disease is not my fault, my recovery is my responsibility. And I think really just accepting that and knowing like I can do this. And I want that for other people too, really.
Let's talk about relationships.
Okay.
You have your family,
Yes.
you have your husband, you have
Yes.
your child.
Yes.
In what way were they affected by your drinking? And in what way are you seeing those relationships, I'm assuming, come back in a different way?
They were just very just nervous all the time, scared. I was hiding it, like lying, just a lot of chaos, really, not being present. I mean, I was there, but I wasn't there. I was in la la land.
Mhm.
And, it caused, arguments, just a lot of drama. So, just having my daughter look at me one day, actually, we were around some people that were drinking and I wasn't, and I think I had like a soda or something. And she just looked up at me and said, I trust you, Mom. And I was just like, oh, okay. That's all. This has all been worth it.
What does being trusted feel like?
Feels
After all
awesome
these years.
because I trust myself. That's the main thing. Like trusting myself has been the best part of it.
And when you say freedom, describe that to me.
Just not having like anxiety, not waking up every day having a chase of like, okay, how am I going to get alcohol? Like, am I going to want to drink? Like, am I anxious? Like, then I'm going to have to like hide it. Then I'm going to have to do this. Chaos would happen. People would get upset. How am I going to handle this? Like, that's gone. All of that stuff is gone. So that's a big freedom. And just my health has improved massively. Like I've really like exercise a lot now and just go on walks and just enjoy being with my family. So that's a huge freedom just right there. And the biggest freedom for me, and they talk about it a lot in AA, is the mental obsession. And now that is gone, like I would not wish that on my worst enemy. That is what it was. Like I couldn't, it was, I would just want to like turn my brain off, like stop. And I didn't even want to drink. Like I did not want to, but my brain was telling me to. So, just having that freedom has been awesome.
For someone who hasn't experienced that obsession, it starts when you wake. Tell me about a day and how
I
those
feel like
thoughts.
for the majority of my drinking, even in the younger years, that it was always like the center of everything. So like even if it wasn't every day, but like, when am I going to drink next? What am I going to drink? Where is it going to be? Like, just the obsession about it. But then later, like when I knew that I was like basically brain damaged from it, like the obsession about like, I want to stop this, but I can't. And then like the obsession of like, okay, well, I'll stop tomorrow. Just the mind games that it would play with me. Like,
and again, some of these might be naive questions because I haven't had the experience. Could you 20 years ago have said, I'm done, I'm sick of this, I'm tired?
No, because I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. That was part of my journey is I did try, and I would go for periods of stopping, and like it just wasn't my time to quit, I guess.
So for somebody else who's listening and feels stuck in that relapse and shame cycle,
Right.
You said that you really have to keep trying every single day.
Yes, 100%. For me, what was huge was getting like even just like those 7 or like 10 days, like just getting it out of your body and your system. It was very helpful for me. Some people do need to go into another environment. But I would just say, if you're trying, like maybe you think you have a problem, you probably do. Just setting goals for yourself. Like I said, I just had all those tools from all my years of experience with this that I would use them, on my good days when I was able to stay sober. And there were many of those. But then when I would start again, they were not good days.
So decades of trying to stop drinking.
Yes.
What inside of you kept the belief that you could recover?
Just researching how horrible it is for my health, just really, like I said, like I spent a lot of time drinking about how to quit drinking. Just like, how am I going to get this? This is my thing that I have to fight, and I've got to figure out my way because I've done a bunch of different ways, and this worked for so-and-so and this for so-and-so, but I got to figure out what works for me. And I think I finally have.
So 10 months in the spectrum is considered early recovery.
Oh, yeah.
And yet it's clear that you have, as you said, something's clicked.
Yes, absolutely.
How do you explain that?
Like, I don't wake up thinking about it. Like, I can be around it. Like, I see it in the grocery store and I don't like crave it. Like, I don't think about it. I think about how horrible it would be if I drank, and that I'm so proud of myself. Like, I like to pat myself on the back every day and just be like, I am, like, I did this. I'm proud of myself. Like, I was so ashamed for so long, but I knew like something like this voice would tell me like, you are going to fix this and you are going to help other people. And something just with me this time, like, I'm done. And I know I'm done because I'm talking about it.
Yeah. It's not a secret anymore.
No. So you're only as sick as your secrets.
Yes. And the lies. Let's talk about that a bit. It's a lot to keep track of.
Oh my gosh. Yes. It was awful. Just like lying to myself, like lying to my husband, just like things just being chaotic, like just not enjoying life. Really. I was not living life at the end. I was surviving, I feel like.
I was thinking when you start drinking really young and stop drinking, you're still really young to me. You're sort of meeting yourself for the first time.
I know.
It's like, hey, adult.
Yes,
hi.
yes.
Hi, Kyle. Nice to meet me.
That's kind of been like what's been so amazing is like I got rid of the self-hatred and the shame. And like this time when I came back, it was like, okay, the past is in the past. Like, we are moving forward. So I don't have to hang on to all of that. Like, it's still there, and I still get feelings about it. But my world is not revolving around that disease. It controlled me for too long. It's gone. I need to leave it in the past. So I am like learning new things. Like, I never would have been able to do something like this or even like get on a flight to get here. Yeah. So just like I took my daughter to New York, she and I, for her spring break, like wonderful just things. Like I said, I'm exercising more. I'm reading more. I'm like figuring out who I am again. Like, what do I like? What do I not like? I actually just am enjoying life and I have that freedom. And every day is not great, but every day is great because I'm dealing with it without alcohol and I'm not obsessing about it.
I would say nice to meet you, but it sounds like you could say that to yourself as well. It's nice for us both to meet you,
Absolutely.
Kyle.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
That brings us to the end of this week's episode. Thank you so much for being part of this important conversation. And if you or someone you know is looking for support or resources, please visit Recovery.com. They offer a wide range of information, including treatment options. We'll be back soon with another episode. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and take care of yourselves and each other.